Hey everyone, and welcome to Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Today we're going to be doing part 3 of this video series, doing a crochet kit that I got from Five Below. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are doing part 3 of this video series. Hopefully this will be the last one. We are working on Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, and we are making Sally. Okay, so where we left off, I'm going to sew on some stitches onto the body, but we're going to get straight into this. So if you have not seen my previous 2 videos, I highly recommend that you do that because it brought us to this point. Also, these videos are only a supplement to the kit. If you want to make this kit, I highly recommend that you go to your Five Below or on their website to get this kit. I don't show instructions or anything or talk about anything in detail due to copyright. And also, viewers, if you don't want to get in trouble with copyright as well, don't leave any specific info of the instructions in the comments below. Alright, so what I do here is teach you how to do stitches at least 3 times step by step. I also teach you how to read the instructions and what they mean. I might bring up something if there's a little difficulty like we had in part 2. And then of course we do the assembly together. Okay, so let's just do some stitching just so that we get it out of the way. We're gonna have to eventually stuff this, you know, so might as well do the stitching now. It's easier to hide all the knots, you know, even though it is Sally and she has stitches all over, which means you can get away with knots outside the body. I just think it's cleaner, just like we did with the face. We did all this before we stuffed, so you can't really find exactly where the knots are because they're inside the head. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is we got to get real down and low. I'm going to look at the box to kind of guide me as to how I'm going to do these stitches. They're pretty at random, so I'm going to freestyle it. So do it however you'd like, but what you're going to want to do is go through one end. My voice is cracking. Go through one end, and then you want a little bit of embroidery floss to tie this all together. And this is actually something we probably should have done beforehand, because now we have to dig deep into this leg. And then what we're going to do is put the needle somewhere else. So again, I am free forming these, so you don't have to worry about that. What I'm going to do to see what's going on here, I'm just going to flip this inside out. That way I have a better look at what I'm doing here. So from here I can see better what's going on. I'm going to double knot this, not too tight, just to secure it because I don't want to scrunch up my project by accident. Alright, so I have that. Now I'm going to come back from a random spot back out here, and I'm going to show you how to do the stitching without having to go in and out. So you have your leg here. What we're going to do is just stitch it across the other end, come up on another point on the other side, and we'll just do it this way. That way we don't have to go entirely inside the body to see what we're doing. We can pretty much see what's going on now. So once we've pretty much finished the stitching, we can do the other leg. But I'm just going to stick this in all the way because I'm not going to trail it. Normally I would trail it, but there's not much left, and we do still have to do stitching in the arms. So better safe than sorry. Let's just pull this all the way out, not too tight. And I'm just going to tie this up to this other end here. And then I'm going to cut this off. And we're going to do the other leg. So here's one end. I'm going to go across this time through here. So we're going to be at an angle. Let's flip this inside out so I can see what's going on. Double knot. Then we're going to come back up. And then we're going to stitch the way that we did in the last leg. Okay. All right. I don't even know if this is enough for the arms. But now I'm going to set this aside. We're going to work on the skirt. Alright, so if I don't remember if I mentioned it, but if you need to speed up or slow down the video, go click on the gear button in the corner. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me talk, you could lower the volume on your device and then click on the CC closed caption button. Alright, so we're now going to do the skirt. We're going to do a cast on with the slip knot, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to be working with pink. Take your pinky and ring finger and thumb and hold one end. You're going to take your index and middle finger and hold the other. Take your crochet hook, lie it perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to create this loop around the hook. You can easily slide the hook up and down. Slide it down towards your thumb. Take your finger here and hold it where it crosses. Then we're going to let go of the left and pick up some feeder yarn. Then re-pinch the end further down and then slide your hook farther down towards your thumb, and where it crosses, just pinch it so you can no longer move your hook up and down. Then we're going to yarn over. You're going to pull through the loop, and then I'm going to overhand my hook. You're going to re-pinch this end, and you're going to push this knot towards your thumb. Alright, so once you get to a point where you can't push it anymore, take your thumb and middle finger and just pull out that excess piece. It's going to tighten up your knot a little bit, and then slide the knot towards the hook. Alright, so you have your body here. I had put a marker where I thought it was going to start. Let me just fix this actually, because you have to flip your body upside down. Okay, so we're going to work at the back side. I'm going to stick my stitch marker in this front loop here with the black. Let's see, I'm going to count the stitches actually. Let me just let go of this stuff. I want to make sure that I put this stitch marker in the right loop. So go back and count the number of stitches that are required for round 15. Okay, so I'm going to stick my marker at the end of those stitches, and then I'm going to do the first section. So right away, if you haven't seen the other videos, we're starting out in a little lengthy instruction here. We have 2 colors and we have 2 comma sections. And then we have a parenthesis with the number of stitches you're supposed to have at the end. So we're going to work with the first set. We're going to do single crochet stitches. This is actually not too hard because they're all single crochet stitches. You just gotta remember to change the color, but I'm going to not do the last stitch in pink so that I can show you how to transition to yellow. Alright, what you're going to do is stick your hook into the first pink stitch here, front loop only. That's all these stitches here, front loops only. Yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So this is our single crochet stitch. We look at it on top, we have a loop there and a loop back there. So when we're looking at it at the front, this is the front loop, and then there's a back loop. Okay, so let's do another one. Stick your hook into the next stitch, front loop only. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop so that we have 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So looking at it at the front, here's our new stitch. There's a front loop, there's a back loop. We look at it on top, it looks like a braid. Alright, let's do one more with you guys. Into the next front loop stitch, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So one more time, we have our new single crochet stitch. We have the front loop and the back loop, and when we look at it on top, it looks like a braid. Alright, so I've done this 3 times. Go ahead and rewind this as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing single crochet stitches on your own. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to complete the rest of the single crochet stitches in pink, with the exception of the last stitch, because we got to transition into yellow and I want to show you how to do that. All right, so I have one more single crochet stitch in the pink to do, but what we're going to do is prep the yellow. So take your hook and pull the loop to be large like this, and then slip off the hook. You can set this aside for now. Then I'm going to go grab my yellow, and I'm going to again cast on with the slip knot. So take your yarn, ring pinky and thumb, hold one end, index and middle, hold the other. Then take your crochet hook, lie it perpendicular to your yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to create this loop around our hook. You can slide it up and down. Slide it down towards your thumb. Take your middle finger here and hold it where it crosses, because I'm going to take some feeder yarn and wrap it around my finger. Then I'm going to repinch the end as low as I can go here, and then slide the hook farther down towards your thumb. Pinch it where it crosses so you can no longer slide your hook up and down. And then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through the loop. And then I'm going to overhand my hook, repinch the end, and we're going to slide this knot towards our thumb until we can't move it any longer. Then take your thumb and middle finger and just pull this excess piece out to make that knot just a little tighter, and then slide the knot up towards the hook. Okay. Then I'm going to gather, oh, not yet. Then I'm going to slip this off the hook and set it aside for now. Alright, so now I'm going to take our project again, stick our hook back into that loop, and then tighten it up with the feeder yarn. What we're going to do is, if you see it twisting, you could always resituate your hook here. What we're going to do is do the last single crochet stitch in the pink. So stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop so you have 2 loops. I'm going to go ahead and take the feeder yarn for the pink and hold it back with my ring finger. Okay. Then I'm going to slip on the yellow, gather up some feeder yarn. Then we're going to pull this yellow through the loop. And then we can, we're going to bounce back between these 2 colors. So I'm just going to leave this off to the side. And then we're going to continue the remaining single crochet stitches in the yellow. So that's basically how you transition out to colors. Right, just out of curiosity, because I was not counting at all. Let's just see if I have the right number of stitches. Okay. So, okay, good. I didn't really look ahead. We're going to be using yellow. Had we not, I'd have to transition out. But I'm going to replace my stitch marker and put it under the last stitch we made, just under the braid, so under that front and back loop. You want to make sure that you clear the yarn. You don't want to accidentally split it. So if you pull this open and it's a nice clear space, that means you're good to go. But now we're going to do round 16, and we have some initial single crochet stitches that we're going to be doing in the yellow. Okay, so into the next stitch, we're going to do our single crochet stitch. And before we finish the last one, it looks like we do have to go back to pink. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to trail the pink to where we need to be. So let's gather up some pink here. Alright, and you want to make sure that you go around the perimeter, but that you also have enough slack so that the project doesn't end up pulling, you know, because it's not enough. So just make sure you do that. Okay, we're going to yarn over with the pink. We're going to pull through those 2 loops, and that's how we make our transition from yellow to pink. We're going to drop this for now, and then we're going to do we have some single crochet stitches in the pink. Let me show you how to trail, how to hide this stitch that has or hide this yarn here. So what you're going to want to do is stick your hook into the next stitch. You want to make sure that you have this yarn over the hook, because we're going to tuck it into our stitch. So we're just going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So we're stitching it with the stitches we make. So into the next stitch, I'll show you again. We're going to make sure that this yarn is over the hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So see, it's being stitched in there. Let's do this one more time. Stick your hook into the next stitch. Make sure this piece of yarn is over as well. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. All right, so we look at this side, it's gone. Next we have some increasing stitches. So let me show you what that is. So it's pretty much doing 2 single crochet stitches in 1 stitch. So put your hook into the next stitch, make sure that yarn that we trailed is right on top of it. We're going to do basically 2 single crochet stitches in this same stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Then I'm going to stick my hook back into that same stitch, and we're going to do 1 more single crochet stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. So if you look closely, we have that 1 stitch, and out is coming 2 single crochet stitches. All right, so for the next situation we have here is a parenthesis. So what that is we're focusing on just that section. So what we have to do are single crochet stitches and increasing stitches. Then you're going to see an X and a number. That means you have to repeat this whole parenthesis that many times. So I'm going to do all of that, and I'm going to stop at the last increasing stitch so that I can show you how to transition back to yellow. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do our single crochet stitches first. All right, and then we have our increasing stitch. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to be doing 2 single crochet stitches in here. So here's one. Stick your hook into the same stitch, and let's do the second one. Oh, my hook slipped. All right, so you can see here that in this one stitch, we have 2 single crochet stitches coming out of it. So we did that parenthesis once. Then we're just going to repeat it. So this is repeating for the second time. So let's do our single crochet stitches. Make sure you have that yarn, the trailed yarn, over the hook. Okay, then we have our increasing stitch. So we've completed our second parenthesis, so we just have to do it one more time. So let's repeat this parenthesis one more time. Right now I'm just going to gather up some more pink. I hope I have enough to finish this. I have a feeling that I won't. Okay, so before I do my last increase stitch for this section, we're gonna switch over to yellow. So I'll show you how to do that. Stick your hook into the next stitch here. We're gonna do our first single crochet stitch. Then stick your hook into that same stitch, and we're going to start the second single crochet stitch, but we're going to drop it. We're going to drop the feeder yarn, then we're going to pick up the yellow, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to trail the yellow to this side here, and we want to make sure that there's enough slack . Okay, so yarn over, pull through both loops with the yellow, and we can now do our yellow section. So for this last part here, we have a set of parentheses, and we're going to do single crochet stitches and increasing stitches. So let's do that now. Hmm. Okay, we are continuing with yellow. So I don't need to worry about the last stitch and transitioning colors. But what I am going to do is replace the stitch marker under the last stitch we made. Okay, make sure you clear the yarn. Okay. Then I'm going to do round 17. So this one is a lot easier. It's just single crochet stitches, but we're transitioning it to transitioning colors. So let's do round 17. Okay, the last single crochet stitch we are transitioning back to pink. So grab the pink, get some more of this. I'm actually going to put this on this other side here. I'm hoping it lasts me, but we have 3 more rounds after this. So I don't think it's going to make it. If it doesn't make it, I'm just going to use yellow. Okay, last one. Let me double check my count. Yeah, it's getting late. I started late, so my counts are not even close. Yikes. And again, I stopped counting. Oh, really? Okay, this one should be the last one. Let me double check. Okay. Shakes my head. We're going to transition to yellow. You want to make sure you trail this. Okay, and we're going to complete this round with the single crochet stitches. All right, let me just double check my count here. Okay. So now we're going to do round 18, and we're going to do single. So this round is pretty much the same. Single crochet stitches, we just got to transfer out the colors. I do have to put this under the last stitch we made. All right, and then I'm going to complete the single crochet stitches. Right, last one. Then we have to transition back to pink. Okay, so just snake this. Then I'm going to do the single crochet stitches. Okay, one more, and then we have to change back to yellow. This is a long way. so now we have 2 more rounds to go, you guys. Hopefully I'll still have enough yarn. I'm putting this under the last stitch I made. Yeah, I mean, it's the same amount of stitches, so I don't know, but let's do these single crochet stitches. Last one. Last one. Interesting. Did I not do something right here? Yeah, something's not mathing. Hold on a sec. Alright, so I did find an issue, peoples. We have another error. Not by me. Not by me. Alright, so for rounds 19 and 20, they have, the pink yarn has you doing 18 single crochet stitches, and I'm telling you because we found a problem. Now, we can stick with 18 and have this jagged piece. It really doesn't matter. Or if you look at the picture on the box, it's the same count for the next 2 rounds. There's supposed to be a chunk of yellow here. So since I am running out of pink, I am gonna trail back a few stitches. Well, actually a lot of stitches, so I can get back to here. Instead, for rounds 19 and 20, the pink section, we're gonna do 14 single crochet stitches. I'm wondering, I was like, am I counting wrong? But if you do the math and you add the yellow, the pink, the yellow, it's not gonna add up to the stitches you need. So let me show you guys how to correct this. See, these are things that I don't like. They should really pay attention, but most of the time I found with these kits is that they're copy and pasting into a new instruction, or from round to round, and then editing it. They should really check that out and make sure that it's correct after they're done. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to remove the hook. We're going to get rid of all this yellow. So pull the feeder yarn. I know it's disastrous. If you have everything nice and neat, you should have no issues pulling this. If you split the yarn, like I say you shouldn't do, you might have a little difficulty. But just get rid of the yellow. And then I'm going to get rid of the pink, but only up till the 14th stitch. So count this off. 5, 10, 14. So right here we're losing 3. Well, we lost 4, but there's 3 left on mine. So slowly pull it, because after the 14th stitch you still need this loop here. We're going to put our hook back in. And again, this is all the makings of who's ever made this kit, so I apologize for them, even though it does make me a little frustrated. Oh wow, that isn't even right. I was wondering, everything is kind of off. So that shouldn't be 14, it should be I'd say remove 2 more. But we actually have to get rid of 3, so we want the yellow to be in the same row here. So you see how this is good, but we have to transition to yellow. So I would pull this out too. We're just going to start over. So stick your hook in here. So let's see what stitch that was. 3, 6, 9. So we have 11 stitches. What? That should be yellow. 10 stitches. We're doing 10. Sorry. Alright. Dialing it in. 10 stitches in the pink. So the next round we're doing 10. I think. I'll help you out when we get there. Alright, so let's do this one more. Let's start it off with the pink, and then we're going to end it with the yellow. So here we have to trail our yarn again, You have a long way to reach with this one. Just make sure you get the perimeter so that we are not pulling. Okay, we're going to finish this single crochet stitch with the yellow, and then we're going to do the single crochet stitches till the end. Pierced that yarn pretty bad, so I just redid it. I think I gave this one a little too much slack. We'll find out. Place the stitch marker. Okay, so we're going to do round 20. So let's do our stitches here. And I stopped counting. Okay, last one. Okay, let's see how many we have to do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 11. Jeez, I can't count to save my life. 3, 6, 9, 10. Yep, last one. So there's 11 stitches, you guys, in the pink, in case you're wondering. I guess the row before was 10. And then we have to trail this. Okay, so we won't be using this anymore. What we're going to do is cut about an inch or so. And then I'm going to double knot. And I'll hide this piece later. We're going to just move on with the yellow. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this and I'm going to hide it with the yellow as well. Might as well, you know. They're not going to really see it. So when you do your next stitch, lie the pink and the yellow yarn across it. So we can hide all the yarn. I actually might not have any yellow for the arm. I guess trailing yarn isn't the best, but I'm already here, I'm doing it. I guess if I don't have yellow to do the arm, I'm just going to use the light blue. She'll have a sleeveless dress. I just realized this isn't going to be fully covered anyway. It's such an odd way to end, you know? I feel like maybe I can just stop at the pink. No, I can't. Alright, so from here, what I'm going to do is, it's just going to end abruptly, which is kind of not that great looking. So what I'm going to do is a slip knot. So what that is you stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through all the loops off your hook. And then I'm going to yarn over again and pull through the whole king caboodle. I don't have that much yellow yet. If you still have a lot of yellow, just cut about an inch or so, which is what I'm going to do now. And then I'm going to just weave this in and out. This is disastrous. My weaving isn't going very well. Alright, so here is our body. Wow, that took forever. Alright, so I have about an hour left for this part 3, so let's get to it. Let's do the arm. Let me take a look at this. So you see here how it has that random sleeve. I might just make it, you know, it looks kind of silly, doesn't it? I'm going to see how much yellow I can do. Probably not much. Actually, probably not much at all. I'm just going to make the executive decision and just make them both light green or light blue, whatever they're calling this. So if you want to do the yellow sleeve, go ahead and do it. I'm just going to do the light blue. Alright, we have to do a magic ring. 1 hour in, and this is the first magic ring that we're doing. Alright, so what we're going to do is take our yarn here. We're going to wrap it around our finger 3 times with a little bit of overage so that we can put our middle finger on there. Straighten out, tighten up or loosen up these strands to make them nice and neat. We're going to grab our hook and slide it underneath all 3 strands. Then from here, we're going to grab this strand and we're going to drag it underneath these 2. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull this strand through the loop. Right? Then we're going to do single crochet stitches in this magic ring. So I'll show you how to do that. So you want to make sure that this excess piece is out here to the right. You want to have your magic rings in the center and then the feeder yarn to the left. So let's do a single crochet stitch. Stick your hook into the rings. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So we have our first single crochet stitch. Let's do another one. Stick your hook into the rings. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. One more time with you guys. Stick your hook into the rings, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Alright, so from here I'm just going to finish the rest of the single crochet stitches and then I'm going to show you what to do next. So feel free to rewind this as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing these single crochet stitches onto the magic ring. But once you've completed that, I'm going to overhand my hook and we're just going to hold the stitches down here. You can let go of the feeder yarn for now and hold it back with your middle finger so that it's out of your way. So don't hold on to this too tightly. You just want to hold it gentle enough to keep it stable. We're going to pull on this excess piece and you're going to see which loop goes inside first. So grab this and pull and then stop pulling once you've identified the loop. I see that this one back here is moving, so from this position here, down here, we're going to pull that side out of this loop. So take that loop and pull out the bottom end. You're going to see the other loop start to disappear into the magic ring. Keep pulling until the other loop is entirely inside. Then you can take your excess piece and pull that until this loop is entirely inside. Then, to make sure that this hole is nice and closed, you're going to grab the excess piece, pull in the opposite direction and a little up. You can feel it move a little bit. You don't have to pull it too hard, but this is what it's going to look like. Okay? So now you can take a stitch marker, and we're just going to mark the last stitch we made. Make sure you clear the yarn, and we're going to move on to round 2. So for round 2, we have our increasing stitches. So let's go ahead and do that. What you want to do is count back from the stitch marker the number of stitches required for round 1, and then stick your hook into that last stitch. And it might be a little difficult because it's bent weird in the first round. But yeah, so we're going to do increasing stitches in this stitch here. All right, I'm going to take the stitch marker and I'm going to place it under the last stitch we made. Make sure it clears. Then we're going to do round 3. So this is actually going to be for round 3 through 5. 3, 4, and 5. So it's the same single crochet stitches. I just have to complete these markers, and then it's actually for more. So from round 3 through 5, or if you're doing it in the light blue, you do in the light blue. If you want to switch to the yellow, we're going to switch to the yellow from 6 through 9. I'm going to stick with the blue. So I'm actually going to do this in silence. So 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then I'll come back in and we'll fasten it off, and then I'm going to do the second arm off camera. Alright, so I did the whole thing in light blue. I'm gonna cut this off about an inch or so. Oh no, you have to sew this on. So what I like to do is go around the circumference of the hole 2 times very generously, and that's going to give me about how much I need to sew this onto the body. Then we're going to fasten this off, yarn over, pull up a loop and all the way out, tighten it up. Then I can remove all these stitch markers. I'm going to do the second one off camera. But first, let me see. Let me put some of this. It's crazy I don't have it stuffed. We're going to have to stuff the arms and the body. But let's sew on some stitches. And I'm kind of worried I'm not going to have enough, so I'm actually going to split this. So this is actually made up of 6 strands. I'm just going to split this in half. So 3 go on 1. Okay. And then we're going to sew some stitches. I don't know if it goes all the way around. But I'm going to come in here. Okay, and we're going to have some of this excess piece to tie, or maybe I'll just tie to the, I'm going to flip this inside out for a sec. I'm going to tie to this long piece here. That way I can I only need a little bit for this. Tie it twice. Okay. We're going to flip this inside out again. And I guess I I'll go all the way around. And then put stitches where you can. And I'm going to stuff this while we're here. So if you were not here in the last video, we stuffed the head, or the last video we stuffed the head. Or was it the first? Doesn't matter. Anyway. It seems like they didn't give us enough stuffing, so I recommended that you go and buy your own. I bought a 32 ounce on Amazon. You can go to your hobby store or break open a pillow, because you're going to need a lot more than what they gave you. Okay, we now have 2 arms all stitched up and everything. Now we're going to move on to the hair. Let me just take this minute and get rid of this. I need to add more, but I just want to get rid of this just sitting on the desk there. I'm going to take little pieces and fill in the feet first. Right, so I used up the stuffing. I do have my stuffing here, and I'm going to use on top of this. Alright, I might need to put more, but I'm going to work on that later. Let's move on to the hair, you guys. I'm going to put this away. Alright, it's funny because they talk about red yarn, but this is clearly orange. What I'm going to do is split this. I'm going to try to find the other side, the other end of the orange yarn if I can. If it's not looking that great, I'm just going to use this. Right, and we're going to start off with the magic ring. Oh, and now I found it. It's right here. So let's do our magic ring. Wrap this around your finger 3 times. Have some overage so you can put your middle finger on there. Loosen up or tighten your strands and straighten them out. We're We're going to stick our crochet hook underneath the 3 strands. We're going to hook this one and drag it underneath these 2. So hook, twist the hook sideways, and then drag it under the 2 strands. Then we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull this through the loop. Right, then let go of your middle finger. Remove the rings off your index, and we're going to do our single crochet stitches. Make sure you don't split the yarn. Okay, once you've completed that, I'm going to overhand the hook and hold the stitches down here. I'm going to pull on this excess piece and see which one of these loops start to pull in first. Once I've identified that, I'm going to pull this part out, not up here, but down here. Pull that bottom part out, and you're going to see the other loop start to disappear. Keep pulling till that loop is entirely gone into the magic ring. Then we're going to get rid of this loop by pulling on the excess piece. Keep pulling till that loop is gone into the ring. You might still have a little hole, so what we're going to do is pull in the opposite direction and a little up. You're going to feel it move a little bit, but you don't have to pull it that tight. I'm going to gather some feeder yarn here, and then it should be all closed. So I'm just going to take a stitch marker, and we're going to place this under the last stitch we made to start round 2. So for round 2, we have increasing stitches. I'm going to count from the stitch marker back the number of stitches required for round 1. And once I've done that, I'm going to stick my hook into that last stitch, and then I'm going to start my round 2. Okay. Then we're going to replace this under the last stitch we made, and we're going to work round 3. So for round 3, we are using back loops only, and we are working with a set of parentheses, and it's going to be single crochet stitches and increasing stitches repeated the X number of times. The instruction tells us to. But we did front loop only in the very beginning, and it was already ready for us to go. This time I'm going to show you how to use the back loop stitches. So like I mentioned before, this loop that we're looking at down here is the front loop. These loops back here that we're looking at is the back loop. So if we are going to be doing a single crochet stitch in the back loop, what we're going to do is stick our hook in between the braid, and we're going to stick it through the back loop only. So here's the back loop on the hook. Right in front of it, the front loop is just sitting there. So you do your single crochet stitch like you normally would. Now we're going to put our hook into the next back loop. So stick your hook in between the braid and stick it under just the back loop, and the front loop is left alone. We're going to do an increasing stitch in here, so work your increasing stitch like you normally would. Okay, one more time with you guys. So let's do a single crochet stitch in the back loop only. So we're going to split this braid, we're gonna go in to the back loop only. The front loop is out here, and let's do our single crochet stitch. All right, so we've done 3 stitches so far. I just want you to look at the front loops here that we did not touch. We only used the back loops. Now I'm just going to go ahead and continue the remaining parentheses. You can do that as well. And then we'll come back in and talk about round 4. All right, remove the marker, place it under the last stitch we made. Now we're going to do round 4. So we have the same type of instructions. We're going to use the back loop only, and we're going to be doing single crochet stitches and increasing stitches repeated the X number of times. I lost count. Okay, remove the marker, put it under the last stitch we made. All right. So now it looks like we're gonna do the strands of hair. So let me just gather up some yarn here. Okay. So we have to do a whole bunch of chains. And I'm going to show you how to do a chain. I don't think I showed you how to do that yet. Yeah, I don't think so. So that's pretty much the basic, very, very ultimate basic stitch in crocheting. So what we have to do is yarn over and pull through the loop, and that's a chain. At least I don't think. I don't know. Anyway, so a chain is made up of 3 loops. We have one loop here, one loop here, and if you turn it on its side or back side, you can see that there's a back hump right here. So let's do another one. Yarn over and pull through the loop, and we have our next chain. See, it's making a braid. We have a loop here. Oops, my thumb was in the way. A loop here, you turn it on its side, and you can see the back hump. One more time with you guys. So yarn over and pull through the loop. Our braid is getting longer. We have a loop on this side, a loop on that side. Turn it on its back or side, and you can see the back hump right there. All right. So I've shown you how to do this 3 times. You can rewind this part as many times as you need until you're comfortable making your own chain stitches. The great thing about this is you're going to practice your stitching. The goal is to get them nice and uniform. All right, so I'm just going to complete the rest of the chains. All right, so I'm going to go back in here and just quickly count the chains to see if I have the right amount. Okay, so from here, the next instruction is to work half double crochet stitches. Now, if you notice, the number of half double crochet stitches is 2 less than what you're supposed to, than the number that we started with. So the reason that is because we have to build the height of the row 5. And how you do that is we're going to skip 2 stitches from the hook. All right, so we're taking away 2 stitches. So I've shown you how many loops makes up a chain. We're going to count chain 1, chain 2. We're going to be sticking our hook into chain 3, but what I like to do is stick it into the back hump. So you're going to twist it on its back or its side, and we're going to stick our hook right there into the back hump. This is going to keep the nice braiding that we have on both the top and bottom strand, and I'll show you what that looks like in the very end. So skip 2 chains, 1, 2. In the 3rd chain, I'm going to put my hook into that back hump, into the back hump right here. And you can tell if you did it right because we're going through 1 loop, but we flip it upside down and we're going just under that braid. So like I said, we're preserving the braid underneath. So it would help if we did this half double crochet stick. So take your crochet hook out. We're going to do this one more time. To do a half double crochet stitch, we're going to yarn over. We're going to skip 2 chains, 1, 2. Then on the 3rd chain, we're going to stick our hook into the back hump right here. Again, one loop on top, we flip it underneath, and you can see it's just under the braid. All right, let's finish this half double crochet stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over again, and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so those 2 chains are making the height of the row. Yarn over again, we're going to go into the next stitch. So into the next stitch, we're going to use the back hump here. Stick your hook into that. All right, 1 loop on top, flip it under. You have the chains or the braid on top. Yarn over, pull up a loop. So you have 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So now we have 2 half double crochet stitches and those 2 chains to make the height. All right, let's do this one more time with you guys. Yarn over. We're going to stick our hook into the next stitch, but we're going to use the back hump. So let's do that now. Stick your hook into that back hump. You have a loop on top, flip it upside down. You have the braid on underneath. Let's yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. All right. So let's complete the rest of the half double crochet stitches required for this row. All right, so now I'm going to count back to check if I have all my stitches needed for this row. Right, and those 2 chains don't count. All right, so now what it says to do is we're going to skip hold on a sec, let me just count this real quick. Okay, all right, just checking. So we're told to skip a stitch, and then we're going to go into the next one and we're going to do a slip stitch. So that's yarning over and pulling through all the loops off the hook. So we've created 1 strand. Now, as you can imagine, you guys, we're just going to repeat this one as many times as it says to go around. So what I'm going to do is, for video purposes sake, because this is already long and we still have to assemble, I'm going to do the rest of the strands off camera. You can go ahead and rewind this section as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing this on your own. Then I'll pop back in and we will assemble all these parts together. All right, so I actually don't have enough yarn to finish, and I'm short maybe 3, 6. I'm short 2 strands of hair, but that's okay. I think I'm going to make this like the front, I guess. So let's fasten this off. Let's see, what does this look like? This is gonna look bad. All right, so I'm just gonna yarn over and we're going to pull this all the way out. I'm leaving all this connected because I got to figure out how I'm going to sew this onto the head, and I don't know how much yarn I'm going to need. All right, so they want you to put this hair on the head like this. I guess I won't need much. I'll try to just sew the inside maybe. So let's go around this 2 times. Thread this up. So now I'm just going to sew this all together. Alright, so we've got about 4 stitches here, so I'm going to go from underneath. I'm just going to sew this front. Okay, once I've got that on there, I'm just going to sew around by just going in and out. Tuck in this piece here. Once I'm back around, I'm going to find a moment to tie a knot. I want to go in, come out the other end. So don't pull it too much to where it starts dimpling. Then you can tuck this in here. Then I'm going to go and sew the head onto the body. And I'm going to use stitch markers. All right. Okay, once I'm back around, just gonna find my moment to tie a knot. Go on one end, out the other. Cut this flush. Then you can remove the stitch markers. All right. Now the arms. So we're just going to sew these onto the sides. And I'm going to sew through one side of the stitches and then the other. Then I'm going to try sewing underneath the arm here. Tie my knot. In one end, out the other. Last arm. Okay. Here we are. So comment below, let me know how it went for you. It's a big doll. Right. We did find some errors in the instructions, but I think we were able to pull it off. So, let me know what you think. So thank you so much, you guys, for watching. This is Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.